the crew to a very important personality. And
yes, that is the president of the Canadian Association of Nigerian Lawyers. Ladies and gentlemen, guys, so we don't want to let the cat out of the bag until we get upstairs. Come on, let's go.
so this is the floor.
So, guys, come with us. It's gonna be an amazing and guys, we'll be seeing one of the heavy and just like you call him a juggernaut. Hi guys, and welcome to another wonderful edition of Naija Mouthpiece. And as you all know, this is a program that brings you closer to the people that are making things happen in their industry and endeavors of life. My name is Maurice Imadu, popularly known as MC Maurice, and today I'll be a co-host with the one and only, I call him Mega, but he will tell you his real name.
Oh, thank you, MC Maurice. It's a pleasure co-hosting this episode with you. Today, we have the opportunity of hanging out with someone who is big. When I say big, he's actually big. 40 years of experience in what you do tells of how much you are and tells of how much experience you've been able to put together doing it and doing it good. We are opportune to hang out today with a special person, a legal juggernaut, someone who has traveled far and wide, practicing what he knows how to do best. And he was once a honorable member of National Assembly in Nigeria, so that tells you how big he is. And aside that, he has chosen this profession, and he has been in the profession, like I said, for 40 years. He has worked with people that matters. He has worked with he has represented even Nigeria as a country outside Nigeria. He is none other than Barrister Honorable Abdurrahman Kadiri. You will do us a favor if you can give us, because there is no way we can know you better than yourself. Our viewers out there will want to know more about you, sir.
The major that we know is that you've been 40 years in this game, and we also discussed earlier that you were not, you didn't start originally from Canada. So just tell us more about that, sir.
Well, actually, I was called to the bar, Nigeria bar, 39 years ago. So immediately after that, I started my practice first and foremost, as many of us normally do, from back home in Nigeria. And after a few years of practice, I was opportune and by the grace of God elected into the National Assembly as a member of the House of Representatives, where I was chairman of the House Subcommittee on Foreign Affairs. So I was able to travel around the globe, and indeed we had the opportunity to meet the mighty in both UK and US parliaments. After that, I returned back to what I love doing most, which is law. When I started, I was head of chambers of the prestigious law of retired Major General Ibrahim Haruna. That is where I was really privileged to handle some of the biggest cases around that period. Like one of you said, I was able to represent many leading companies and industries and the federal government in some of the leading cases. So I give God the glory for that opportunity. Soon after, I thought everything was already done for me, so I tried to I relocated from Nigeria. I wanted to go and qualify as a barrister and solicitor in the UK. But while I was in the UK taking my qualify exams. It was called the QLTT then. I read on the opportunity in Dubai that the UAE had just opened the opportunity for foreigners to buy and sell properties. So since that was one major aspect of my practice, I just moved from UK. I abandoned my QLTT and I went to Dubai. I give God the glory that that was a turning point of my life, because I was one of the pioneers, Nigerian professionals, to land in Dubai. So we were buying and selling real estate, and on the side, or in addition to that, I was working as an arbitrator for the Dubai International Arbitration Center. It's called DEAC, and I was a city arbitrator. Arbitrators come before me with their claims and they present their cases, and I write decisions. And I'm happy and I'm glad to say that none of my decisions was ever turned around or overruled by the high courts, because we tried our best. So whilst in Dubai, I started looking at again, like some people said, maybe I have the nomadic blood in me. But if I hinge it on the biblical passage, it says the north, the south, the east, and the west is yours to possess. So I followed that, and my next quest was Canada. And that is how I found myself here in Canada. And like I said, God always has a hand in my life. He always has a way for me. And I arrived here in Canada, and I started my qualifying exams. Even at that age, I would not say, oh, I've made it all, but I dedicated myself, and to God be the glory, I qualified as a barrister and solicitor of the Law Society of Ontario.
Wow.
Yeah, so I am now a practicing lawyer here in Canada, and within a record time, as you all know, God has made me the current president of the Canadian Association of Nigerian Lawyers, CANLI. So you can see that it's been a long journey. I just gave you a brief intro,
a tip of the
and
iceberg.
just package everything, because good things come in smaller packages these days. So I don't need to bore you with the bus stops and the curves and the valleys along the way, because in this life nothing comes easy and nothing is so straightforward. Along the way there have been obstacles, but to God be the glory that we were able to surmount all those obstacles, and when we are down, by the time we get up, it propels us to a higher level. So that is the journey so far, so good.
Okay, so before you continue, it's I must say that you are indeed a lawyer and a barrister, because you're ready to cover from us even when we wanted the shots by you. So okay, so I'll quickly ask a question beginning from Nigeria. I know that it's always difficult to pass this law exam in Nigeria. So it's like how long did it take you to pass the exam that originally made you, before you were called to bar?
I graduated 40 years ago from the university. Then I had to go for the Nigerian Law School, where you study to be called to the bar. So I was called to the bar the following year, 1984.
Whoa, that must pass 3 exams at once.
So I'm 39 years post-call. But to answer your question, the exam for call to buy in Nigeria is like momo.
Whoa.
And,
I have a friend that has wrote it seven times now.
You consider what it is here
in Canada.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Because
That's what I
the
want to
bar
say.
exam in Canada is one of the toughest in the world, because
Yes.
they want to grill you. They want
Yes.
to make sure you know all aspects of
Of law.
law.
Yes.
And but one is self-determination. Two is hard work. Three, and indeed that should be number one, is the grace of God. Because no matter the knowledge you have, if you don't have the grace of God, it's not gonna click.
Okay.
So they are really tough exams, but you know that to become a lawyer is not an easy task, because law is the first profession that was created by God. Yes, because when God finished creating Adam and Eve, he gave them law. See, thou shalt not eat this fruit. Right? So that is the first profession. But on a more serious note, law is one of the, I don't think I could have been happier with any other profession. And I'm not saying other professions are not good, but every day I dress up, I feel good, I feel happy, because I love law.
Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate you. When you were going to tell us about how you started off from after you graduated from school, you finished you finished your bar exam and got a call. You told us that you started off by working at a chamber, the chamber of the General
IBM
Aruna.
Yes.
Yes, sir. For people out there who feel so uncomfortable trying to understudy people, they just want to graduate from school and become the boss. What do you think we can say to them through this, your experience?
It is not good when you go through such an experience like I did, walking through a boss, and especially a good one like the retired Major General IBM Haruna. You garner the experience and you are exposed to the many areas of law and practice. And in those days there was a law before that medicine and law, you have to be under somebody for 5 years before you can open your own practice.
Yeah.
So it would do, I think it was a year or 2 years before our call that law was abrogated. But I think it's still very, very good. If you really want to get yourself grounded, you have to go through that privilege. It will expose you, especially if you are privileged to have a good chambers like I did. Like I said, our chamber was one of the most prestigious ones. We have offices in Abuja, Lagos, and Kaduna, and we were handling cases across the nation. It took me around the country, different aspects, and we were also lawyers to some of the leading companies in Nigeria, Mobile, CAPL, Total, and indeed I participated in the first public privatization in Nigeria. That was a privatization of Nigeria flour mills.
Wow.
So it's a good experience when you pass through such a pupillage. It will expose you to many areas of law, and at that period you are expected to make some mistakes and learn from them and grow better and bigger. So people just coming out and setting up shop, opening their chambers the next month or the next year, I don't think it's wise enough, because law is a profession with deep practice, with deep knowledge. And the more you do it, the better. If you look at today, some of the leading lawyers in the world, and if you look back home in Africa, in Nigeria, some of the leading lawyers today, they will tell you the chambers they pass through before setting up theirs. So it is advisable for young lawyers to do the same, not just to jump into opening their firms.
I want to ask, sir, because from listening to the beginning of your story until you get to Canada, it seems everything has been rosy, because from school to the house and then to Dubai to Canada. Was there any difficult time for you, or just like you said, the grace of God, or the grace has always seen you through? Were there difficult times for you?
Well, I said so when I was summarizing that it's not all that, it has not all that been rosy. There are always ups and downs in life. But you have to pray to God that when you fall down, you have the grace to get up. And when you fall down, look at up while you are down and know how you can ascend further when you stand up. So it's not that everything was laid out for me like a bed of roses. No, there have been some setdowns, but to God be the glory. You said, you asked me whether the grace of God. Yes, the grace of God has played a major part in my life. Yes, the grace of God has seen me through. It has propelled me further and further to where we are today.
Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate you. The grace of God will continue to propel you, sir.
Amen.
Having said that, knowing several feats that you have achieved in law profession here in Canada and across the border, would you mind sharing with us how you were able to metamorphose, because you're transiting from one country to the other, and it's not as if it's been easy though, because the law practice in Nigeria is quite different from law practice in Dubai, and law practice in Dubai is different from law practice in Canada. And you did delve into UK law practice as well. How were you able to cope with the difference in climb and in the practice? And if we look at your table here, you're surrounded with you're surrounded with awards showing how much you've been able to impact life of people here in Canada. So, sir, can you please let our viewers know how you were able to how it was easy for you to always move from one country to the other, and you were able to adapt with the difference in the practice of law?
Yes. First of all, a point of correction is that I did not practice the law in the UK. Okay. Like I said, so I went to UK and I started the qualifying exams. Just as you asked me, do we take exams in Nigeria to practice? I said yes. You have to take the Nigeria called to buy exam after attending the law school. So if you're a foreign trade lawyer and you want to practice in the UK, there was this program then. I don't know if it still exists, QLTT. It's called the Qualified Lawyers Transferred Test. Okay. So I registered for that, and I was attending the college. It was at the College of Law at Chancery Lane, with a view to qualifying for the exam. I had actually written some of the papers before the opportunity came for me to relocate to Dubai.
So it's Dubai, Nigeria, and Canada.
Yes.
And they all have different practice and different exams.
Yes.
So those we will need you to share with us.
In Nigeria, it's common law country. So the exams are pretty straightforward. And thank God during our time of study in those days, I always boast to the younger lawyers that no mister taught me. Meaning, none of my lecturers was a Mr. John or Mr. Peters. All my lecturers were Professor this, Professor that. The least of them was a doctor. And those doctors have written some of the leading books in law. So we were well grounded. We were well grounded at the University of Ife then. So, but you also have to study, because we used to have what is called the Almighty June. The exam for a session cross from 1 year to the next year is only once. So the Almighty June, imagine all that you've learned for the year, they are packed up together. Maybe you have 5 or 6 subjects for the exam, and once you fail one,
you have to wait for another.
You have to wait. I think you only fail one to a certain level, then they can give you a reference. But if you fail it below a certain level, you have to repeat that year. And if your GPA is not up to a certain level, they can ask you to withdraw. So it's not easy. It was not easy. So, but when you know what you are there for, we had a slogan then that you pass through the university and let the university pass through you. So that doesn't mean that you have to be an EFICO all the time. When I say EFICO, that means efficiency. Yes, no, you know the time to go to your lectures, you know the time to go to the library, then you know the time to go and relax. Sometimes when there are parties in town, you go and be a student and mingle with your friends. But like the striker, your eye must always be on passing your exam. So, like I keep saying, to God be the glory, we pass through that. Then, like you say, in Dubai, there was really no exam because I had, that is an aspect I also did in the UK when I registered for the certificate of membership of the International Chartered Institute of Arbitrators. So immediately I got to Dubai. It was very useful, it was very handy. I went to the chambers and they took all my CVs, they reviewed it, and I was registered as an arbitrator. So I was practicing more or less as an arbitrator and not as a lawyer, because for you to practice law, you had to work with a local, and I was not ready to do that. But however, I got a better opportunity by being an arbitrator, a city arbitrator, writing my own decision, taking my own cases, deciding on people's cases before me. Then Canada, where is a big obstacle. But thank God, after much swatting, we were able to get called by here. So that is it.
So in Canada too, you just you write the exam, and then if you pass it, you get called to bar, and if you do not pass it, you have to wait for another 1 year, just like Nigeria.
Don't put it that way. You make it look so easy. You have to sweat it first, right? And there are 3 stages, or 2. When I say 3 stages, in that first of all, you have to do the NCA. The NCA is the National College of Accreditation, where they have to check all your credentials from your home country. Once you come into Canada with a foreign degree, and then they will assign the number of subjects you will sit for. Sometimes they say 6, sometimes they say 4. Some people are given 9, especially if they are not from the common law jurisdictions. So when you pass those exams, you are now given a certificate which entitles you to now write the bar and solicitors exams. Those are the real ones. So when you pass it, bar and solicitor, then you can now be called to bar. That is in Ontario. Remember, Canada is a federal constituency, a federal government. The awesome jurisdiction have different approaches to being called to bar, but everyone wants to be in Ontario. Everyone wants to remain here in Toronto because this is the heartbeat of the country. So no matter how tough, you have to struggle hard to pass the Ontario bar.
Having said that, shall we go on a short break? While we come back to the juggernaut himself. Like I said when we started, 40 years is not a joke, and it is because of the passion that he has for the profession that has endeared him up until this minute. Some people started it, the passion is not there, they quickly took to their heels, switch.
Imagine reading for 14 hours. Someone like me, I read when I want to sleep. That's the best way to sleep. So remember, I hold the book, I'm gone.
So we're going to go on a short break and we'll be back in the next 1 minute.
Welcome back from that break. It's been an interesting one with our own barrister Abdul Rahman Kadiri. I think we should take a little rest from what barrister has been giving us and just ask, switch a little, sir. What do you do for fun? Because after reading for 14 hours and do all of this together, I think, do you ever have a relaxation time? And if you do, what do you do for fun?
You know the adage that says, all work and no play make Jack a dull boy, right? I mean, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, right?
Yes.
I mean, how can you do everything without relaxation? First of all, in those days, one of my greatest passions and relaxation was jogging at the beach. Yes, anywhere I lived, whether in Nigeria, in Dubai, even here in Canada, I love to go jogging and walking around the beach. I love nature because I want to see it. I want to be close to nature. Then sometimes if I'm in a place with bush paths, I like to walk around or jog along the bush paths. Secondly, I'm a horse rider. I come from a family of horse riders. So I used to ride horses. In Nigeria, I rode horses. In Dubai, I used to go and ride horses. Here in Canada, there's a place with a church, so I love that. But these days, because of the volume of work, the best hobby I have is relaxing with my son, playing Scrabble. Yes, even if I get home at midnight.
Wow.
If I get home, once he agrees to play Scrabble with me, I can play it till about 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Yes, that one right from Dubai. My brother too, in Dubai, we used to play. Sometimes we play Scrabble for the whole night, especially at weekends. So these are my hobbies. I am not really a club guy, and I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke. I don't do most of the bad things men do. These are the things that keep me happy. If I get home tonight, even if it's 10 p.m. and my son says, yes, I can play with you, I'm feeling happy. Even if I'm not eating, I'm ready to go on that Scrabble board to play with him. So these are the things that you can look behind me. There's a Scrabble board here.
Yeah.
So sometimes we can even play in the office.
Oh wow! Yeah, I see.
So sometimes if the work is less, we can even play a quick game in the office, even though there's not much time for these days. And indeed, my son bought it for me last year as a birthday gift because he knows that yes, this is my best hobby nowadays.
Mega, I think I like the place of the fact that he does not drink alcohol because last week my neighbor drank alcohol and went to advise our landlord to increase rent. We are paying too little.
Anyway, Scrabble, the game of Scrabble and game of chess is for the intelligent people.
Yeah,
it's not. I mean, if I may ask, sir, despite all odds, and when I mean despite all odds, some people that have attained the level you've attained in life, they want to go back and leave everything. But I realize that the passion has kept you going. Despite all odds, you come here at 8:30, 9 p.m. sometimes you are in the office working. What is the secret?
The secret is that I love what I do. The secret is that I love law. The secret is that I enjoy practicing the law.
Wow.
So even if I have to stay here till 10, 11, I am happy doing it. It gives me fun, it gives me pleasure. And that is the essence of specialization. Because when you have done it over and over again and you love what you are doing, it's no more punishment for you. It becomes part of your hobby. In fact, when you ask me that how do I relax, I should have measured it that handling my files is also part of
your relaxation.
So it taxes the brain. But I love law. I love doing it. I love practicing law.
Thank you so much, sir. This one is for, because while we were coming for this session, and people already knew that we were coming to meet the president of the Canadian Association of Nigerian Lawyers, some of our people out there has asked us to ask you that few of our lawyers from back home, that the attention, because it's like myself back home in Nigeria, if I walk up, if I have an issue and I walk up to a lawyer, I feel walking into a lawyer's office should be like a respite. I mean, like a respite for me, like something that would halfway calm me down, and something that would halfway give me assurances that I'm getting off the hook. But our people here says that, and the reason why this question is being thrown to you is that they are not getting that kind of attention from lawyers from our locality, from our community. That's the right word. That most times once you walk into a Nigerian lawyer's office, they accept you that day, the next day you want to get their attention, they are no longer available?
First and foremost, I want to disagree with that assertion. Lawyers are lawyers, and first of all, like you said, if you come into a lawyer's office, you are expected to get that comfort, that respite.
Yeah.
As for me personally, some clients have come here crying, especially when they've lost their cases and then somebody referred them to me. And by the time they are leaving, after my first meeting with them, they go home happy. I've had people come here, they say since yesterday when we got the decision, rejected their claim, they've not eaten, they've not had their shower. But by the time I finish talking with them, they are laughing, because we are not just there for lawyering, we are also there for guidance. We are also like pastors. We have to put you through. And all lawyers are trained to do this. It's one of the first rules of the profession here in Canada, indeed all over the world. And to the best of my knowledge, whether Nigerian lawyer or Egyptian lawyer or Canadian-born lawyer, we try to adhere to these principles. So our lawyers do their best to help our people. But you know, sometimes familiarity brings contempt. Some guys will come and they feel because you are Nigerian, oh, you have to treat them otherwise, even when you've done your best to satisfy them. They know that sometimes they go to some other law firms, they cannot even have the privilege of seeing the lawyer. They are dealing with clerks. They are given access to meet the clerks at the reception. They will peep to see the shoes of the main lawyer inside. But when they go to a Nigerian law firm, they want to sit on the lawyer's table if need be. So I mean, if that be the case, you cannot blame the lawyer. I'm not holding court for them, but I am saying that we do our best to take care of our people, no matter the circumstances. So to say that Nigerian lawyers don't give their best to Nigerian clients, I disagree with that assertion. We all do our best. I know so many lawyers who have put in several hours to help their clients, and I am a living example. You said it now, sometimes 10 o'clock, I'm here, review files with clients, and the majority of lawyers, that's what they do, because this job is based on referral. If you do your work well, it's going to go around the city. If you don't do it well, it's going to go around the city.
Beautiful.
So I have clients that I have not met from Vancouver, from Winnipeg, from Alberta, from Montreal, from Ottawa, but people refer them to me, and I handle their cases. We don't meet on Zoom, and they are happy with me. And I know many other Nigerian lawyers, they have the same approach. So we are trained, and we do our best to help our people to achieve success for them in their cases.
was a picture I actually posted. I think it was last year for Barrister Kadiri's birthday, and one lady called me and was like, how did you know this man? I said, I just anchored his birthday, and it was like, wow, that's when my case was rejected and from another lawyer, and I ran to this man, that the kind of comfort that he gave me, that he calls me almost every day. It's not actually because he's here. That's my friend. She's based in what they calling it now. I think it's after Kishna. Okay. And just from a picture, he just told me that, oh, this man gave me comfort. This man gave me reassurance, until one day that he called me and he was like, congratulations, that your case has been accepted.
Most claimants come here, especially when we're talking about refugee claim, because I practice refugee law, I practice
family law,
I practice mental health law. Yeah. So we're talking about the refugee claims. Most people come, they want to take the legal aid certificates. The legal aid covers only several hours for your initial preparation and submission of your claim. Yes, so if you've taken legal aid and the lawyer has exhausted that several hours, especially when you call them at unholy hours to start discussing irrelevancies, and the several hours is exhausted, maybe the lawyer is kind enough to attend to you more for another 2-3 hours. He's not going to keep entertaining calls that are related to your claims. You can imagine I'm doing a claim for a person, and the next day the person comes, is telling me about his grandmother in the village. Lawyer, how can I bring my grandmother? What documents do I... Please, let's finish your claim first. When we finish it, then we can talk about who you can sponsor. Yeah. But once that is stuck in a person's mind, if he comes to your office, he's going to reopen it. So I know some law firms, they take your credit cards, and when you make unnecessary calls, they charge that card.
That's true.
Yeah, especially some of these
That's true.
Oyibo firms.
That's true.
Because they tell you, if you originate a call without their own input or without them directing you, they will charge you. But we don't do that.
Wow.
Some people call me on Sundays, some people call me on Saturday, some people call me as late as 10 p.m. in the night. Wow. And I try my best to answer them, except until recently when I am trying to wind down a bit, you know. So, and I know many lawyers try their best, so it's not a Niger issue. We do our best to help our people, but like Oliver Twist, they will always demand for more, and we will try our best to help them.
Thank you so much, sir. Talking about legal aid, because when somebody is coming into Canada to study, and he showed his proof of funds, that he's got enough funds to, maybe that's what was used to secure his visa, that is coming to Canada to study, and at the end of the day he came into Canada and maybe circumstances changed, he's seeking for refugee. I know you're not speaking for legal aid today, but at the end of the day, what are the chances of such person getting a legal aid if he's being honest with his submission, with his application with the legal aid?
Well, if you are being honest, such a person is being honest, all things being equal, before you get a legal aid certificate, they have to ask one of the preliminary things is your financial capability. But you know, a lot of people are not going to say the right thing. So even if you don't say it and you manage to get the certificate for the first step, they're still going to go back to do a background check on your accounts. And if they discover, yes, you actually have enough funds, they're going to stop the certificate.
Thank you so much, sir. Canada is rated #1 in the world by the World Economic Index or the World Record Index.
Yes.
What will be your, because it's a Japa syndrome in Nigeria now, and I don't think there is any government at the moment that can stop that Japa as we speak. What would be your advice for our people out there back home in Nigeria that are watching us right now that wants to make their way to Canada?
Well, Canada is good, but it's not that the streets of Canada are paved with gold. It's not that the streams are flowing with milk and honey. You still have to pay your price when you arrive.
Yeah.
Like there's what is called the survivor jobs. So even if you come and you don't have anything to do yet, if you are able to pass through the system and go through the survivor jobs and then settle yourself properly, it's all well and good. But like you said, Canada is the best, rated the best country in the world today, because when all indices of human living are put together, we are number one. There's no denying that.
Wow, thank you so much, Barrister. It's been an amazing time with you, and we've also learned a lot too.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure. I appreciate talking with you guys. I wish you the very best, and it's a truly Nigerian mouthpiece. I hope the mouth can always speak good things at all times.
Thank you so much,
God bless you guys.
Thank you so much,
and
sir.
The sky is the limit.
Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys, we want to believe that it's been an amazing time with you as well, that you've really had fun and you've learned something new. Just if you have any question, any addition, or just leave a comment in the comment section.
We appreciate every one of you for your time, and we look forward to having you in our next edition of Niger Mouthpiece, and it's going to always be better. Thank you so much for being there to listen to us.